Hello everybody, it's your favorite girl Gingy here, and welcome back to Ginger Books, or welcome if you have just happened upon this video. So as you saw from the title, I'm doing something new that I wanted to do last year, but just never completed it. Again, this is the year of finally finishing things and sticking to it and creating healthy habits and routine. I want to participate in the new magical readathon that is hosted by G from Book Roast. I tried to last year where we were on the Novice path to Orilium, the new Magical World Academy that we were going to. All I have to say is before we get into this, G from Book Roast, you have outdone yourself and just, oh my goodness, I wish I had your imagination and just fierce determination to create something this wonderful. Like, it gives me goosebumps. Like, right now, I have goosebumps right now. And so I'm excited to get into this. So I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can. If not, everything will be linked down below, so you can go check out G from Book Roast's introduction in 2022, as well as she's continuing it in 2023. So we got some catching up to do before the spring equinox. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. In the Novice path, you create your character and kind of go on this journey to Orilium before your first semester, which is the spring equinox. And so I created a character using the fun sheets here. So our character's name is going to be Gaia Kai. I know, original. Our guild didn't really come until later, and the callings didn't come until later, until the spring equinox. But I already have them labeled out because I'm not going to take the Novice path just because since it's already been passed. So the guild I have is Archivist, and it's just Archivist. Sorry, I don't know why I put Necromancer up there. Guild is Archivist. So, and my calling, part of the Archivist calling is the unique calling is the God Seer career. So instead of that, or the calling, I wanted to add two more to that, because obviously we're going to an academy to learn more, and I felt this would fit perfectly because part of my guild, my conduit, is a pole arm. So it's almost like kind of like a magical dagger sword / staff kind of type thing. Guild's legacy, I specifically put, and this is found in the brief history packet, decided to make, and I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, I am so sorry. I'll make sure I can go back to the videos and see if I can pronounce this correctly. Valenus, which is the god of death and rebirth, amplifies necromancy abilities as well as herbology. Experienced patrons can also communicate with the dead. Temples located in underground caves covered in flowering vines. So I decided to pick that one as our guild. So I figured necromancy and demonology would be a good calling kind of careers for our character. And I'm just going down the line here. So certification, obviously we are now a novice. And I think at the end of this, you're supposed to become an apprentice. I'm not 100% sure. I will have to go back and read that. Background, I put urban. So we live in a city underneath in Dark Meadow. Now, you can go and check out all of this in the brief of history that G from Book Roast has in her Google Docs that is shared with everybody under the video that I have clicked down below. So, heritage, we are an elf because I just love playing elves. One of my favorite things in D&D, so. Luna phase at birth, I put unnoted because I wasn't for sure how to answer that. Conduit, I did say it was a pole arm. Part of the guild's legacy is Valenus. I did say that. And then the scholar's traits, because depending on your calling is your trait. So I got devoted, loyal, trustworthy from God Seer. Then I have defiant, decisive, and willful from the necromancer. And then I have curious, defiant, brave from the demonologist. Now, getting past, so that is our character. And of course, we're going to complete our first and second semester in January and February. We may spill over a little bit depending on what happens, because we do have up until April before the third semester, I'm going to guess it's going to call. Second year, third semester, or something like that in spring. Which, once we get through this, we'll go through what we're going to do for spring. So that will be a later video. So the syllabus for my careers that I picked is shapeshifting, animal studies, inscription, spells and incantations, conjuration, restoration, lore, astronomy. I'm going to say this is supposed to be psionics and psychokinesis or something like that, and deviation, demonology, elemental studies, and demonology. And of course there's a book, at least one book per prompt to worry about for the spring classes. Sorry, that just took me a minute to even say. So we're going to go through them and their prompts. Now, I'm not going to read a book for each prompt. I'm going to probably combine them because, I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 prompts to go through. So I'm probably going to combine them. So the first one, shape-shifting, is, and I'm looking down because all of my papers are in front of me. Formation, claws. Creature with claws on the cover. I think I actually might have books that have creatures with claws on the cover. The next one, animal studies, Way of a Pegasus. Quick read. So it's a quick read, probably 100 to 200 page book. Inscription. So that will be glyph, strength, intimidating read. So what I mean by intimidating read, I'm wondering if this is possibly means that it's either a thick book or whatever we decide is considered an intimidating read. To me, that is a nonfiction historic novel or history novel or a thick book, like a very thick book, like 800 to 1,000 pages. So we'll see about that one. Spells and incantations. That is anti-gravity spell, short stories, or essays. Or slash essays, which I do have books that are short, some short story books, so we'll think on that one. And that can actually be combined with probably a quick read, just because most short story books are pretty quick reads. So, conjuration, that is conjuring of light, source of light on cover. Restoration, what cure wounds, book featuring healers. Myths most known, mythology inspired. Astronomy, basics, asteroids and comets. Top of your to be read list, which we can pick from our new TBR list. I cannot pronounce. It's supposed to be psychokinesis, I believe is what it's supposed to be, but psychonex. I am so sorry, I'm butchering that name. And deviation, clairsentience, book set in the future. Demonology, shadow demons. Word, shadow, and title. Elemental studies. That is basics of air dynamics, book under 100 pages. Again, could be put in with quick reads and short essays. Or short stories. And then demonology. Oh, we already said that one. Oh, I wrote it down twice. My bad. I'll cross that off real quick before I forget. So those are our prompts that we're going to be completing in January. It may bleed in a little bit to February, but we will see. So that means that our vlogs on Thursdays are going to consist of completing these prompts. Now, I am going to try to pull heavily from our TBR if any of them fit, but I have a feeling some of these won't fit because a lot of my TBR doesn't have a lot of like supernatural, magical type books that may fit these prompts. That's what my kind of goal is to try to get through my endless TBR over here, which I did organize my books. Going on to the fall one, that will be from February to March. So I'm kind of planning ahead here. This is where it sounds like we kind of start taking our like autumn tests or our fall tests for the year. And this is set up a little differently than spring. Because in order to get these grades, you sometimes may have to complete 1 or 2 prompts or all 3 prompts. I'm going to go down the list of what grades I have to get in these classes. So I have to get an O in inscription, Q in restoration. I have to pretty much get diminished in conjuration. Demonology, I have to get distinguished. Sorry, not diminished. Distinguished. A D in lore, which is distinguished. O in animal studies. Q in spells and incantations. O in restoration, and O in elemental studies. So again, what these mean is O is for ordinary, Q is for qualified, and D is for distinguished. Now, some of these, depending on the career, I may have to complete all 3 prompts to get the grade. And in conjuring and demonology, I don't really have to, depending on the type of calling I'm in, but I have to get all the way to diminished for a couple of the other callings. So I'm doing 3 callings. I know, I am overstretching myself here. In inscription, I only have to get an ordinary, which is the first prompt. So that means, let me flip over here. So that means glyph recollection, a childhood favorite. Now in restoration, I have to get qualified. So that means I have to read 2 prompts in that. So qualified, so that means I have to read O, object restoration, and Q, enchanted scroll mending. So that means I read a single object as the focus of the cover, or one of the oldest books on your TBR. I have so many, I guess we'll just take our pick. Now, in conjuration, I have to get distinguished. That means I have to read all 3 prompts. So, in conjuration, that means I have to read The Foundations of Necromancy, Tales the Bones Tell, Raised Dead Theory. So a book with necromancy themes, bone on a cover or in the title, and reread a favorite, which is very easy for me. Now, demonology, I do have to get distinguished, even though my other callings only need to get O, which is ordinary, but obviously for demonologist, I have to get distinguished. So for that one, I have to do Imp Wrangling, Caro, Demon of Chaos, and Banishing Spells 101. So read a fantasy, use a random number generator for your TBR books, which we're already kind of doing. Book that's at a risk of being unhauled. And you know which one I'm thinking of for the unhauled one. The next one is lore, which is my other one I have to get distinguished. So I have 3 things I have to get distinguished. That means I'm reading 6 prompts in just 3 classes. It's great. This feels like college all over again. Okay, where's lore? Oh, there it is. Aleda's Regional Anthropology, Myth of Stories, Ancient Caves of Daruan. So a book that has the colors similar to your country's flag. Story featuring a betrayal. Desert setting. Almost easy. The next one I have to get is Ordinary and Animal Studies, which is Study of Familiars, a book with a familiar or an animal companion. Then I have to get Qualified for Spells and Incantations, which is Spell Recolor or Incantation Echo. Use a color wheel and pick a book matching said color. Find someone else's TBR and pick a book from theirs. So that I'm probably just going to have somebody pick a book for that one. Now, the next one is Restoration, and I only have to get an ordinary on that one, which is Object Restoration. A single object as the focus of the cover. Whoa, wait a minute. Never mind. I already read that. So the next one is technically, I just have to get an ordinary and elemental studies, which is Element of Water. Start a book with a drink, which is easy for me because I'm always drinking water or something before I read. So that's what we have to complete here by April. So I'm giving myself a 3 months to at least complete this. Now I am going to go because G from Book Roast does have the 2023. If you want to come along with me, again, the introduction and different videos for last year, for at least the spring equinox and the autumn equinox, is going to be linked down below so you can get to the Google Drive file where you can find all of this. And obviously G from Book Roast explains beautifully in her videos of how to fill these forms out, what these mean, and all of that. So if you want to join me, come right along. This is going to be so much fun because I really love the magical readathon that Book Roast does put out. So this is just a very fun and very original and unique thing to do. So thank you so much for watching. If you did like what you saw and want to stick around for more, and of course join me on this fun reading journey, hit the subscribe button and that bell notification up below so you are notified when I post. I post fun bookish content like this under Ginger Books every Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if you also want to check out my fun Sims content, that is also posted every Tuesdays and Thursdays under Ginger Snaps Gaming 19. I hope everybody has a great start to their week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!